Like me, I tell people all the time, like my mom took me to Scared Straight. That was just something I was just like, how you gonna take me? Cause you didn't let the police come and take me. Yeah, you gonna trick me and take me yourself? Like, you know what I mean? It was just like, I was just wild. Hey, I know who it is, man. It's your boy Cyhi the Prynce, Good Music Affiliate, and I'm kicking it with my folks at Hip Hop Weekly.
Yeah. We all access. This is your girl Brianna, and we are here on the check-in with Cyhi the Prynce.
Yes.
What's going on? #1 hip hop album right now.
Hey, yes, man. It's exciting, man. It's like, it feels good to be just critically acclaimed like that. Like everywhere I've been going, I've been like, man, this album really touched people. And the funny thing is, like, girls been like reaching out. Like, I really made it for like guys, you know what I'm saying, or you know what I mean, something like that. But I think the cool thing about it is that it's unisex. It touches both sides of the spectrum. It touches the street, but also your spirituality. It touches your feelings. So I made sure I wanted to kind of capture all that and within the album.
Nice, nice. Well, right here we have my hip hop enthusiasts. I have my fellas here. Guys, go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Oh, I'm Zell.
I'm Zell. Dynamic.
I'm Rainy from Rainy, South Carolina.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I'm Cyhi, you know what I mean? We in it.
Alright, fellas, go ahead.
So to start off with, can you tell us where the name Cyhi came from and how you went with, why you went with Cyhi as opposed to your government?
Well, man, it was crazy. Cyhi came from somewhat of my government, but I was always Sedell Young, but it was like, man, once I got kicked out of school and I had to start hustling, it was like, man, I can't go by my government name. That was like, that wouldn't be smart.
Right, yeah.
My first mistake right out the jump. So I just, my partners used to call me Cyhi. I never used to smoke, but then I started smoking, so they were like, oh, Cyhi.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or Cyhi was like a short, they used to tell me, because my real name's Sedell. So, I mean, it was just something that my partners in the street gave me, and then it kind of stuck once I started rapping, and it was just, it just stayed with me.
Yeah. You're from the east side of Atlanta. Tell us a little bit about the music that you make and the relationship to the east side of Atlanta.
Well, I think, I like to tell people for I think it was 22 years strong, we was the richest black community in America.
I remember that.
In the whole America. So I was fortunate to grow up around, I would say, a diverse group of black people. Like, it wasn't like, you might have some of your partners that was less fortunate, but then you might have partners that had, like me, have a mom and dad. You can go over there, it's a nice house, like, okay.
Yeah, I came from Stone Mountain, Lithonia Road, so I know.
Right, so it's like,
we used to drive past those big houses on
but the crazy thing, it was like, man, he was like one paycheck away from being out that house.
Exactly.
So it was a little different. It wasn't like you had a big house and you could just be like, still like, man, me and my partner was still trying to get Jordan because you had enough to pay the bills and stay out the ghetto. That was like my parents' thing. So I think all the kids and all the people I grew up around, I feel like, man, we was like some of the best black families and young men and young women who grew up from the 80s, because everybody was migrating to the South. Those families who could afford, that commute or that change. So I think just growing up in Stone Mountain kind of gave me a little bit of everything. Like, I had some friends that went on and went to college and had scholarships, then I had some partners who was in the street. You know what I mean? So I think that dynamic kind of made me who I am, as far as, my connection to both sides, like blue collar and the streets, and also like being around a bunch of dope celebrities. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So, with your upbringing, I know you talk about church a lot, and you had a strong influence with that. Can you speak on that a little bit?
Man, church, like, it wasn't really like church. Well, church was my foundation. My mom used to I used to go and sleep in church early on. She would just, let me sleep. But I always thought that was like kind of therapeutic, where, the they might play classical music for your son or whatever. My mom used to always take me to Bible class, Bible study, to the point where even if Jesus or God wasn't real, I've been brainwashed to kind of, you know what I'm saying? So it's like my whole life, you know what I'm saying? It just always, every time I prayed for something, or every time I prayed in like a pivotal situation, or like me playing sports at a pivotal point of the game, or it was like, you know, in the middle of this shootout, it's like, man, it's like bullets is flying everywhere. It's like on some Matrix shit. To me, I always have to express that. You know what I mean? And then it'd be like, I have partners who'd be like, man, you always on some prayer shit. And then niggas would be like, got locked up. You know what I mean? Niggas taking bullets. Like, hey, I ain't never been, you know, this. I never had to go to prison. You know what I mean? Because I had this certain kind of consulting that I think my friends didn't have. They just was, whatever was going on. Me, I'm like, I don't know. God, what we gonna do about that? Nah, I ain't doing it. I got something better. Okay, cool. Nah, I'm gonna chill on this one. You know what I mean? So that right there.
Like you just, you know what I'm saying, you consulted with God.
Yeah.
Higher power.
Yeah, see, that's how you gotta deal with everything in life. Relationships, everything, bro. You gotta think about it with God, Jesus, whoever your spiritual leader, you gotta be sitting right there. You gotta be able to say whatever you gonna say with him sitting right there. And I guarantee you'll kind of, you know what I mean, in a way, but I think that's what brings the dope contrast in my music, the perspectives that I come from, but it's also from the backseat of a drive-by. So it's like, it's really real.
It's kind of like a mix. Bad word.
Yeah, it's like a dude, I had to be in the streets because I didn't want to. It was just like, man, my mama used to cook every night.
Yeah.
It's like, when you think about it, like every night you gotta get something to eat.
Yeah.
You don't even think about that as a human. You know, when you growing up with your mom, it's like,
it's gonna be there.
It's gonna be there. But then you like, your mama kick you out, you think you grown, it's like, okay, what we eating? Shit, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
For real, I'm used to, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So what was dope? I'm sorry.
No, that's good. You good.
So what's your relationship with your parents? And I know you said that you were kicked out at ninth grade. Are you guys back well? Or? Yeah.
Definitely.
You know, they had to send me in the wilderness for 40 days, 40 nights.
Yeah, so they did the, was it Joseph? I can't remember the story in the Bible.
Exactly. Jesus did that. Yeah. Absolutely. So I just think, man, you know, we all good. It's just, I got some epic stories.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I have some epic stories like that. A lot of people hear No Dope on Sunday. Like, I couldn't write my first album from where I am now. This is, like, the crazy thing is, these are stories from when I was like 17, 16, 15. Like, them stories is better than rap niggas' story right now.
Yeah, like how you gonna talk about taking your kids to soccer practice.
Exactly. Like, so, you know, I think that's why I wanted my first album to be. I kind of wanted it to be, let you know where I come from, because I've been, you know, the devil been working and not letting me put my album out. So I felt like I wanted to start the story from the beginning.
The album's dope. Yeah, everybody related to it. Like when you spend so much saying about that street knowledge, so like I'll listen to it around to like, man, I'll tell my baby, like, listen to it, babe, you hear this right here? So like, interpret that for me. Right. So you broke it down because you went through, you know what I'm saying, talking about drugs, the elbows, the onions, and like, who many people really know about onions? Unless you out there in the street like that. You know, then you talking about, you know what I'm saying, I'm banging with these Crips and all they eat seafood. Like, man, this boy murked it.
Yeah, man, it's just
tied in with church.
A question though, some of the tracks you got on there's one particular no worries. No
Dope on Sunday.
No, not that one. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And I had a friend of mine. He's actually a professor. He was asking me like, what does he mean? Ask him. He said, what does he mean when he's talking about this? Like an indictment on like social services, education, and just like what prompted you to want to come off and kind of facilitate it, you know, talk about that. What pushed you to write that?
I mean, that record was something where, man, I lost so many partners, and it's just like, when you sit back and think about everything that kind of, you know, hinders us from leaving this mentality or whatnot, I kind of want to speak on it from like a real space. Like me, I tell people all the time, like my mom took me to Scared Straight. That was just something that was just like, how you gonna take me? Cause you didn't let the police come and take me. Yeah, you gonna trick me and take me yourself? Like, you know what I mean? It was just like, I was just wilding, but it was just, you know, to experience the streets, I feel like sober was like the best thing that could have happened. Cause it's like now I can kind of give it back in a more educated way. I feel like than most dudes. It's just, you know, they don't know how to express themselves. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times they, you know, they do things to kind of suppress their feelings. Me, man, I was in like, man, I'd be like, man, let me out the car and we about to go ride on something, or we about to go do a robbery. And then my partners used to be calling me like all type of pussies and whatever. I'm sorry, I can't use that. But we had to go back to the crib and like go to the yard. Right. Because it was just like, bro, I'm just not gonna go on that mission. That don't mean I ain't one of you. You know what I mean? We could definitely handle this outside. But it was just that kind of, I feel like those issues I was going through as a young man, it was just kind of shaped me to be very different and, you know, stand on what I believe in. I just been through too much with it. I just ain't got nothing else to talk about.
No, I think
in the rough.
Yeah, I think that makes
that pressure, you know, go to that gym.
Yeah, that makes for good content, and you might be in the process of actually saving somebody's life.
Exactly.
That's what I like about the story aspect of what you do.
If you see my DMs, man, it's just overwhelming. I'm like, man, I gotta put out more music. This is like, like I'm lowering in the crime rate or something.
Yeah, no.
Dudes is really, it's really touching me, and I'm just like humbled.
Yeah, I heard about the prison link thing that you were trying to do. What is that in particular?
I mean, I got my peoples looking at it right now, but it's like a way that, you know, usually when you sent music to jail, you had to buy a CD and, you know, make sure it was wrapped properly and send it. But they getting rid of a lot of, you know, stuff like that. They're actually going into technology and different things in the jails. I don't know why. Because you don't want them to be too far removed by the time they get out. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to even work with it.
To Big Daddy King.
Yeah, I knew. Growing up when I was young, I knew a dude who got out that never seen a color TV.
What?
Like, that threw me off.
This was Robert Banks, the dead president.
Like, also, like, dang, bro. He's like, man, this is like lit. And this was like in the 2000s, though. He been there so long, so it was just like, you know, in a nutshell, man, no dope on Sundays.
Bro. So what made you give that title, No Dope on Sunday?
Because every time I play the song in the studio, I tell you, man, watch when this drop, man. I'm going to be able to tell niggas not to sell dope on Sunday. And they going to listen to me.
And you give a good reason why.
Yeah, man.
Not to sell dope on Sunday, but the trap open back up
on Monday. Like, man, we got to start one day.
Yeah.
So one day. See, I feel like, man, we just got to bring some integrity back to our neighborhoods. Like, people look at my album like it's some street shit. No, it's just some man shit.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
It just,
because you don't have you don't need to be 40 years old still out there doing it. Right. You should be turning the neighborhood around. You should be buying the neighborhood.
Exactly. It's just what men think about, bro. Yeah. This ain't for little boys. This ain't my lady. We like for the millennial. We don't rap for millennial. Them little boys, man. Hopefully you get to make it this age. Yeah. And you see, you know what I mean?
Yeah. You get to start thinking about legacy. When you start having conversations with young people about legacy, ask a young person what they see their legacy being, and the answer that you get will shock you. They don't even think about it. And I don't remember thinking about that either when I was that age, but. You're right.
But I've been thinking about legacy since I've been in kindergarten.
Yeah. Wow. So that means somebody put something in you early to
I was competing with, like, I don't know, man. I just been that type of person. I just always been active. I've always been trying to change. Like, man, I used to stop shootouts at my school, bro.
Wow. Yeah.
Like, between, like, the GDs and the Bloods, like, real life shit that my principals probably didn't even know that was about to transpire. Like, so much that I can't even talk about, but I knew I was special when I could just do that on all platforms. I was like, oh, okay. I had to start taking it serious once I got, you know, a little older. I seen that the way people was treating me, like, even when I started rapping, I could just go in the room and it'd be a little different when I rap. I was like, oh, okay. So then when I took that, I had to, like, sit down and be like, yo, I gotta take this serious. This ain't just something I'm just casually doing no more. Right. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's like you have an anointing. There's an anointing over your music.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you were talking about legacy, and I noticed, you know, with streaming, you know, I don't know when you first came in there's probably a lot more cassettes and CDs and all that. But now that your album is on Spotify, I don't know, is it still number one?
No, I mean, I don't know where it is on all. I think I was just on iTunes, but you know, it's so many Amazons, Googles, and.
But I mean, that's something that's going to be residual for time to come. I mean, how do you feel about the streaming and where it's going to go? Is it going to enhance or is it going to?
I mean, I think it's dope, man, because man, I remember back when I was growing up, man, you buy somebody's album one time, man, I probably played it 10, 20 million times. Right. Like. Reasonable Doubt, I might have, man. I'm
still playing that.
Yeah, exactly. OC, you know what I mean? So it's like now, every time somebody think about you, you get something for that thought, and I think that's the dopest part about streaming. But I kind of been in the streaming world. It's just doing mixtapes. You know, it kind of started like the Dat Piffs, the live mixtapes kind of started like how many streams or how many listens. They called it listens. You know what I mean? So I was already in the millions in that. It was just crazy. My label just wasn't checking for me. I don't know why I had so many millions. Like my mixtapes was legendary, but for some reason they just wasn't checking it. But I always knew kind of I could take any time off because I'm like really like one of the best, if not the best rapper in the world. You know what I mean? So it doesn't even matter what platform we on. My real music gonna resonate. Real talent gonna cut through.
Right. So when you speak about legacy, where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years? Would it still be rapping or do you?
Yeah, I'll definitely be doing music. This Earth, Wind and Fire. You know what I mean? But definitely, I definitely want to get into movies. I'm doing a lot of script writing right now. Kind of, you know, I felt like that was something I wanted to do, and hopefully start working on some schools and philanthropy work. That's kind of and getting a lady married or something like that.
I see you doing something like Hamilton, man.
Yeah.
Together like a stage play.
Exactly. I got like
scripted stories.
To go back to what you were saying about like the streaming and the number of times that an album's being played, like people don't really sit with music. The great thing about No Dope on Sunday is ever since it's come out, man, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's been a lot of good music that's come out around your music. The Big Crit album, the Rhapsody album, you know, album. You sit with these records and you find something new every time you listen. Right. Do you go into a project with that on your mind to make music that people can actually sit with, or do you make music to people, for people to just ride to? Is there a particular formula that you follow?
My thing is like I want to be a little bit of everything. It just has to have the playback factor. I think I'll take that over a hit record any day.
Way that you can tell if an album is good is how many times you hit the rewind. Right. You know, back in the day, it was the cassette. You hit the rewind button. But now it's like you get back to your phone, you reaching for it, trying to be like, and you trying to slide back to what he said. But
yeah, definitely. That is something that's part of the sport. I think it's like being a gymnast. You just gotta do everything right, stick the landing, make sure your arms is flying, all type of foolishness. So I think that's part of it. But I'm already programmed like that. Yeah, I'm like a walking metaphor, simile. You know, I always analyze things different. Like anything I see, smell, hear, eat is just always retained. So I don't know. That's how I just stay creative all day. So.
And you know what's cool, and I hate to just shower you, make it seem like I'm just showering you.
Oh no, I work for it. You know,
yeah. I mean, it's you know when you in the company of legends, you have to give your flowers while you sit here. Right. The great thing about your lyricism is this: you can actually make songs. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. A lot of lyricists can get on a track and they can spit and it be good, right. But it's not a song though. Right. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. The thing that kind of sets you apart, and I think that the world is starting to notice, is that Cyhi can actually make songs. Mm-hmm. New Africa, for example. My son in the back seat don't know what you talking about, but he jumped into the New Africa. Right. You know what I mean? Of course, I got the parental advisory thing.
But with a lot of music that's out, and I compare it back in the 90s and now, it's like you have more storytelling, which you don't have as much. And of course, when you do a story, what you got to do, you have to have a concept along with it. So it draws people in. But if I'm just talking about my ego, talking about how much money I got, that don't really, it be bumping, but it don't really resonate with you for long periods of time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's only gonna stick for the first time.
Yeah.
Like I tell people, most rappers, lyricists that call themselves lyricists in my lane, they get to use this much of the dictionary. It's like how I feel like I rap better than y'all, and I only can use this much.
But you see through different lens.
Yeah, it's like because it's real. It's like, can you stay in this room with your rap? You know what I'm saying? Most guys got to go outside and get in the car. Hit your bitch. No, I ain't. If you hear my album, we ain't talking about Rolexes. We ain't talking about we hit your chick. We ain't talking about Benzes. It ain't none of that on my album. It's like all 9th grade education. It's all quarter pound. Keisha. Like, we ain't got no bricks, it's just all quarter pound rap. All Monte Carlo driving, all that good stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah, real east side.
All Monte Carlo.
Yeah, we ain't no foreigns over here. No foreigns. No foreign rap.
In the backyard.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what it is. It's about what I learned in my neighborhood with like the real people that matter. Like all the others, that don't even matter.
I was saying this before we started about Atlanta has a flag that they can actually wave when it comes to a conversation about lyricists. When I was in school, I came down here in like '97 and I finished up my senior year in high school. I say something about Nas or I say something about Jay, and that would shut down the conversation about lyricism. But now it's like a real conversation.
You got to talk about me. Yeah. I learned from the best, but I'm definitely. This is like, man, I'm one of the last rappers who actually went outside. Wow. That's all it is.
Yeah, that's true.
Like when you look at our lyricists today, they're like kids, they like smart 4.0 kids who like dropped out of college.
Right.
Wow.
Like when you think of Nas, you think of Nas as a nigga.
He was a street dude.
Yeah, this is like
he just had that knowledge.
Exactly. It's a difference.
He dropped out in 9th grade too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like that's the type of game I'm talking about. Them are real lyricists that's really talking, not nothing you read in the book and you just know a bunch of words and you just wanna. That's the new age. Like this, I'm one of the last rappers who actually had to go outside.
Yeah.
In so many words.
All right. So tell us about how Kanye came into the mix. Good music from Kanye. I know. I think the first credit that you got with Kanye was that
Soul Paul.
Soul Paul. Yeah. So tell us how that happened.
Well, man, I was in Atlanta, moving out of my apartment, and during that time I was signed to Akon, and we in Atlanta, they want me to do like trap records and stuff, and I'm like, I'm not really with it. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna do me. And they didn't like it, so they was like kind of distance themselves from me. Like, you know what I'm saying? When they used to play my records in the clubs, the niggas be acting like, you know what I mean? Like they don't know me. It's like, hold up, bro. So it's just like, it used to be funny just watching people. But anyways, so I just kind of distanced myself from that and kind of started working with guys who did organic music, just real hip hop in Atlanta. It wasn't a lot of us,
right?
But it was guys like me, Crit, Yellow Wolf, Peel, guys I could kind of just go in there and just rap with. And we did a song called "I Wish" that was on Yellow Wolf album, and we just shot a small video to it. Yeah. And somehow I got in Ye hands. And he was like, whoever this is on the third verse is incredible.
Oh, it's important that you say who it was that said that.
Yeah, definitely. But the crazy thing was, like, I'm glad he sat through the third verse because he could have easily been like, you know what, and not even heard my verse. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? He listened to the third verse and then he was just like, whoever this is dope. He put on his Tumblr. Then he went and found another video I had, and he put that up on his Tumblr. Then that morning, I had Twitter at the time. I don't know if I think I had Facebook. But my phone, I look at my phone, I have like 30 missed calls.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, man, who the hell? 30 people ain't called me all year. You know what I mean? Who the fuck is calling me 30 people calling me? Hey, we're Vibe Magazine. Hey, we're Rolling Stones. I'm like, what? Like, what? I'm thinking you're a bill collector. Like, they're like, no, we want to talk to you. Have you heard what Kanye said? I'm like, nah. Like, what the fuck y'all asking me for? They're like, yo, he thinks you're a great artist. And I said, what? So then Greg Street calling me profusely. So I'm like, Greg, what's up, man? Vibe on the other line. Like, he like, bruh, I told you you're the greatest alive. And then that's kind of like, No ID got the call, and he called Greg Street and then put me on the phone. And then, yeah, he was just like, yo, can you come to Hawaii? And I was like, absolutely. So, you know, it was just so funny, like, now that I'm out there, like, all the people I'm signed to calling me, like, yo, what you doing? Like, I'm not doing nothing. I'm in Hawaii. You know what I'm saying? How about it? So, I mean, as soon as I walk in, it's like, you know, I see Ross leaving. It's Ye, it's like Amber Rose and all these people in here, right? And and he like rapping all my raps. I'm like, yo, this is like incredible. Yeah. So he like, yo, we about to go to the movies. You know what I'm saying? I fuck with you, I love you, rap, but I gotta go to the movies. But I was gonna ask you, hey, can you think of something for this song, this hook? Yeah. Like, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, I don't know what people be thinking about Ye. I just think people ain't heard the truth that much in their life. Yeah. So they think he just crazy. Yeah. So he's just like, yo, man, you should think of a hook right here. Like, we're gonna go to the movies, gonna come back. I'm like, oh, okay. So he leave me in there with the engineer, and I just wrote the hook. And then I was like, yo, engineer, put me like 8 minutes at the end of, like, loop the beat for like 10 minutes and put me like at the 8-minute mark. So I just rap a verse at the 8-minute mark. And then we was working the whole time down there. Like, working on other songs. He never heard this verse. Like, I never told him about it. I'm just chilling. Whatever he asked me to do, he just getting to know me and stuff. And I end up leaving because my sister had passed. No, yeah, she was passing. Oh no, I don't know if she's passed. She passed, yeah. So I left, and about 2-3 weeks later, you know, so I get a phone call from like an 808 number, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember the weed man down there was an 808. I picked up like, what's up, bro? I ain't down there no more, but shit, you wanna send me something? You know what I mean? He was like, nah, this Ye. I was like, yeah, stop playing. Boom. You know what I mean? And it was another crazy story that happened that same day. And I have to tell this story to Hip Hop Week because it's special. So I ended up getting this girl pregnant, right? And she was like this big, like she was big into film. And she was like about to go into the union and everything. She's like, I cannot have this baby. And me, I was like broke at the time. I still didn't have nothing. She's like, man, we gotta have an abortion. So me, I'm like, I'm hurt. But I'm like, I understand because she's kind of like, she like balling, like she gotta like take care of me in so many words. So I understood her, so we prayed about it, you know what I'm saying, right before we went to the spot. We prayed about it. And as I'm leaving, that's when I got the phone call. So I'm like, it's an 808 now. I'm like, I ain't even thinking about, I'm thinking about, okay, my sister just passed, I kinda got over that. Yeah. Then I gotta, you know, go through this situation. So I'm like, okay, so the 808 number calls me. And he like, yo, it's Ye. I'm like, man, stop playing, man. Bye. You know what I'm saying? Because he never had my number or nothing. So I don't know why. I just wasn't thinking about Ye at the moment. Right. So he called me back. And I'm like, yo, what's good? He's like, yo, this Ye. I'm like, okay. He's like, yeah. You just came to Hawaii. I was like, yeah, the Hawaii. And I'm tripping. He's like, man, congratulations. You made the album.
Wow.
I'm like, what? Right. So the whole time, she crying, but I'm trying to like, yo, I'm like, okay, baby, fuck, like this is like really messing with me emotionally. So, man, I remember we went to the thing and every Greg Street is calling me back because I had texted him like, yo, we made the album, like, and then the whole time it's just like God is blessing me, like as he like probably taking something away from me, but at the same time it was just like crazy. So getting that phone call was like. It saved my life in so many ways. It was like I was going through so much stuff, and it was like, man, I'm just depressed. And then Ye just called me like, yo, and then my life changed.
Wow. So
amazing story.
That is.
No, that's how God works. God, he just always. Hey, I'm gonna tell you something, friend. I need them folks. I need your sister up here. She sounds good in the choir down there. I want her to sing in mine. I'm like, I got you, boss. So he just, you know. return the favor. So I'm grateful.
30 credits later, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Ain't counting.
Yeah, 9 states and 1 album.
Right, exactly.
What do you think about that though? As far as like you get to a certain level, as far as when you rhyming to have, I guess you have a team of people to write for opposed to someone that's writing just their whole complete album. What do you think about that?
Well, you know me, I always felt like, man, it depends on where you at in the music industry. I always feel like, man, some artists like Kanye and Drake, and I feel like a lot of artists, they've already proved themselves to the rap genre. See all these pop stars and all these Adeles and all these people come on stage with 15 people with a whole list of people they want to thank. The bass player, the nigga who thought of this, the writer, the co-writer, the person who came up with the ideas. Like, man, I'm competing with all them, and it's just me, my engineer, and some weed. You think you gonna win that Grammy over Sam Smith?
Yeah.
Like, them are 15 musical minds that's been doing music since they've been toddlers. And it's like, in hip hop, we can only, have an engineer in there. Like, we gotta outthink all them. So I think, in a nutshell, it's just like, it's okay to have, when you speak for the culture and to the culture, it's two different things.
Right.
Most rappers speak to the culture. You don't need any help.
Right.
But if you speak for the culture, you know what I'm saying, you gonna need help from different people in the culture to kind of tell what they want to express. So I think Ye is one of those artists that speaks for the culture. So he has that right. Drake as well. Yeah. He has that right. Like, he's done everything you can do.
They transcend those artists.
Now they ain't just talking to the culture. They talking to middle America
about what's happening.
About what's happening from where we from. So that's the difference.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess we could do this all night long, but we do appreciate you actually taking the time to sit down with us.
Definitely.
Again, like we all support the record, man. We think that it's dope. It's dope.
It's a classic.
Thank you.
And you're actually going to be on that Mount Everest of hip hop,
absolutely,
especially in your hometown of Atlanta.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I wanted to give that perception of Atlanta. Like, people forget, man, we had TLC and Outkast and Babyface and Escape, all them groups and T.I.'s, man. That we produced superstars.
Exactly.
I think one thing about us, you know what I'm saying, it's our fault as well, but sometimes we get caught up in the money of it.
Exactly.
And forget about the reason why we can make this money.
Exactly.
So I think some of us have to make sure we carry that torch as well, and I just feel like I want to be one of those individuals.
Yeah, and just like a short note on what you were saying, like if you read Ellie Reed's book and how he came to Atlanta, and that kind of speaks to what you're saying as far as this is where we started. We started out with these small studios. Now there's like huge studios all over the city where music all around the world. Hip hop is the #1 genre
of music
in the world, not in the United States, but in the world.
Because it affects more than just music. It got marketing all over.
Exactly.
And Atlanta, Georgia is the
capital right now.
Every commercial, there's some type of rhyme or something to it. Not just about Cheerios to selling shoes at Payless. Somebody got to say a rap.
Exactly.
So we appreciate you.
I appreciate you guys.
We'll get a freestyle.
Oh man, I freestyled out.
Hey, quick question.
Maybe next time.
Come up soon?
Yeah, we do. Man, I was gonna.
When you come to Atlanta, what people want to know. Man, come to your home. Where you gonna be?
Man, I'll be releasing that information in roughly 2 weeks.
Okay. All right.
I just gotta make the last.
So I'm gonna get my tickets early.
Yeah, I gotta get my last because I have a few options on the table, so I'm coming down to the last option.
Okay.
So I'm like, I gotta pick one of them.
All right, we need that freestyle, bro.
Oh man,
you can't do it right now.
Man, you know what's crazy, man? I'm actually doing a lot of acting right now and script reading, so I don't want to. I want to be perfect.
Got you.
So I know I just been a lot of stuff been on my mind. Man, these scripts is just too much for me.
Oh, that's dope. Can you give us your social media?
Oh, definitely. I can give you Cyhi the Prynce, CYHITHEPRYNCE. That's everything. That's Twitter.
Okay.
That's Facebook. That's Instagram. That's fax machine. Send me a pigeon. You know what I mean?